What's up everyone, welcome to another episode. Today I want to talk about something that recently got me quite excited, and it has to do with a very special group set. So you might have noticed that there are a lot of, I would say Chinese group sets coming in from different companies like L2 or Sensa into the Western market and rattling things up quite a bit. As you know from this channel, I'm actually quite open to all those new brands and new group sets that are coming in from China. I've already installed a Sensa group set back in the day, and as you might have noticed, I'm also a big fan of the L2, especially their ERX electronic group set. I'm actually riding those, two of those group sets on two bikes quite actively these days, and I have to say I love it when it comes to price-performance ratio. They actually perform quite well and didn't leave me hanging at any point in time, so I'm very open to explore more of those kind of opportunities. The only thing that I was missing a little bit from all those new group sets coming in was to have a rim brake version, which will allow me to level up one of my more retro frames to electronic shifting. But now Wheeltop is here and came with a new group set that is available in disc, of course, because that these days is the bigger market, but also they offer a very nice rim brake version. So once I heard about this, I tried to find the rim brake version just for purchase because I couldn't wait to get my hands on it. Unfortunately, there was no option to purchase it in Germany, or in general to purchase it in the very beginning. It seemed like the rim brake group set was maybe behind in production. At least availability wasn't there, even though some of the disc brake group sets have already been available. So I reached out to Wheeltop, and luckily they responded to my mail and sent me a rim brake version for review, which made me very, very happy. So as much as I enjoy the braking power and modulation of a modern disc brake group set, or modern disc brakes in general, I really have to say I love the simplicity of a well-tuned rim brake setup. So swapping out my Dura Ace 9000 group set for this Wheeltop EDS rim brake group set, it only took me like 15 minutes, I think, to swap out the levers as well as the front and rear derailleurs. So this is just how bike maintenance should work. With disc brakes, you might know from my previous videos and from your own experience that swapping out a disc brake setup is always a little bit more messy and definitely takes a little bit more time. So when it comes to installing the components, everything went super smoothly. Taking all the old components off, putting everything new on, quite straightforward. The only thing was I noticed this noise on one of the shifters. But I just sprayed in a little bit of WD-40 in there and that problem was gone. So I would say 10-second fix, I would say good so far. So once everything was installed, of course, I needed to tweak the indexing a little bit. Also, this group set allows you to use a wide range of gears and amount of gears. I'm going here with an 11-speed setup. So first thing I needed to do is to change the setup to be 11-speed and then do the individual indexing per sprocket, which is very nice. It seems like that on those Chinese group sets, and if you do it via the app, you have the opportunity to tweak each and individual sprocket, which is quite nice if you don't always want to go for the brand name cassette, because I noticed, for example, when buying some cheaper or lightweight cassettes, for example from AliExpress, it seems that they are not always 100% according to the original SRAM or Shimano cassette. So there is always, like, between the 5th or the 6th sprocket, there is a little bit too much space or too little space, that basically on a Shimano or on a SRAM setup I always had an issue with shifting at least between 2 or 3 of the gears, where it wasn't as snappy as I think it should be. But if you can tweak each individual sprocket, you of course optimize it for whatever the spacing might be in between those sprockets, and that normally results in quite a good shifting performance. So in general, the app is quite straightforward. Maybe the only thing to look out for, or which is interesting to be aware of, is that if you're tweaking the position of the rear derailleur for each individual sprocket, the change that you're dialing in the app isn't applied immediately. You first have to shift out of that sprocket and then back in, and this way you can basically check if you are now in the right position. Not a biggie if you know it, but I think that this would definitely be a point for an improvement maybe in the next version of the mobile app, to actually, once you start tweaking the position, that it right away translates in the actual position on the derailleur without having to shift in or out. So now that the indexing was done, the bike was ready for a test ride. So let's go. So first impressions have been really good actually. Shifting is pretty smooth and reliable. I didn't get any stuck or jumping gears. Front shifting is also fine for me. Of course, it's not as smooth as some of the newest Shimano front shifts where you pretty much barely notice that the chain somehow magically changes chain rings. But yeah, I would say for the price point, definitely good enough for me. Also reminds me a little bit of some of the SRAM front derailleur shifting from past generations. But maybe I'm also in general the wrong person to judge this because I'm riding here mainly in Berlin on this bike, which is flat, so most of the time I'm staying in the big ring anyways. Also, when it comes to the shifter ergonomics, they feel actually quite well in your hands, or at least in my hands, they work quite well. Also, the rubber of the shifter hoods feels of high quality. That was a little bit of an issue with some of the Chinese group sets, that yeah, the rubber felt a little bit too stiff or too fragile, or was just too loose and peeling off. This is definitely not the case here. Everything fits nicely, which yeah, communicates a little bit yeah, of a higher level of quality than yeah, you're used from some of those Chinese group sets. So I don't want to be too quick in calling this a recommendation, because so far I was only riding this for like 100-150 kilometers so far. So I think this group set might make a lot of rim brake fans quite happy, giving you the opportunity to upgrade your retro rim brake frame, or actually even modern rim brake frame, to an electronic group set on a budget, given that most brands actually discontinued their rim brake offering. And otherwise, if you want to go for something similar like the Wheeltop EDS system, you have to look on the secondhand market, and here you actually have something that's brand new that gives you a nice unboxing experience as well. So yeah, worth considering. So of course I'll keep riding this group set now for more kilometers, and in case anything comes up that's not in line with my initial impressions, I will of course share it here on the channel for you to be updated. But yeah, so far yeah, so far so good. I'm actually quite excited to be riding this bike with this setup. So if you have any particular questions towards this Wheeltop EDS group set, feel free to drop it down in the comments, and just also in general, let me know what you think about the group set. Is this maybe something that you would be considering for your retro frame, or maybe even for your modern rim brake frame? Yeah, I would be very interested to hear what you think about this new product hitting our markets here. And as always, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and I would say thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.